We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking?
I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. As you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. You're in no position to dictate. You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. What you're doing is very disrespectful to the country.
You said thank you once. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America.
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Not winning. You're not winning this. You didn't have our military equipment. War would have been over.
We know that you're wrong.
You have to be thankful. You got to be more thankful. You don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. 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 You don't have any cards.
The abusive and humiliating treatment of President Zelensky in the Oval Office by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, besides being hard to watch, can also be hard to understand. Unless one looks at it from the ideological perspective Trump and MAGA look at every country from. More specifically, under the context of the global ideological battle between a resurgent right-wing and the dominant woke progressivism, the dominant political strain in Western Europe and parts of the United States. The same Western Europe Zelensky is trying to align Ukraine with. The same that is seen as an ideological enemy by MAGA. Therefore, President Zelensky, following the wishes of the people of Ukraine and moving his country towards a progressive Europe and away from nationalist Russia, is never going to endear him to Trump and MAGA. The abusive treatment of Zelensky, as well as the pretend outrage at his supposedly disrespectful behavior, were necessary in order to frame him to the world as an ungrateful ally, unwilling to make peace.
See, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
Setting the stage for his removal from office and his replacing with a more Russia-friendly, right-leaning president. Because the real problem is the peace terms that Donald Trump has been trying to bully him into signing look identical to the ones Vladimir Putin has been proposing for 3 years, which would explain President Zelensky's reluctance to signing it and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's rage. The agreement that he's being beaten up into signing essentially gives in to Russia's demands. It gives Russia territory and resources taken from Ukraine and leaves Ukraine defenseless against future Russian attacks. While President Zelensky, his advisors, and the US media still seem to not understand, the coming to power of Donald Trump's MAGA movement essentially turned the White House from a progressive European ally, a main backer of Ukraine's war against Russia, to a natural right-wing ally of Putin's nationalist Russia.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October.
Zelensky is essentially having an ally of Russia mediate his war with Russia. And that ally is taking the security guarantees that Ukraine is looking for and giving them to Russia by denying Ukraine NATO membership. Yet, to the degree that Zelensky refuses and disagrees to go along with the plan, to that degree he will be painted as a president unwilling to make peace, fueling the anger and rage levied against him today and leading to more attacks and pressure on the country of Ukraine to replace him, under the assumption that the European Union won't be able to make up what Ukraine will lose by losing the support of the United States. The plot is very, very simple. Using the United States' position as Ukraine's main backer and ally in its war against Russia to force Zelensky into what would essentially amount to surrendering to Russia. And if pressure on Zelensky does not yield the necessary results, pressure the Ukrainian government and its people to replace Zelensky. Make sure his replacement is more Russia-friendly than European-friendly, and will quickly surrender to Russia, or, as Trump calls it, be willing to make peace. Such an ally will keep Ukraine from joining the European Union or NATO, and will simply bring Ukraine back under Russia's control.